How long have we known of climate change? Scientists have been researching since 1958. It's not an issue we were unaware of and something we could have stopped. At this year's United Nations Youth Conference, I will discuss the increasing issue of climate change and the effects it has on our planet. Effects on weather patterns, food production, living conditions of animals and humans alike, etc. These concepts have been represented in movies such as WALL-E, and documentaries have gone into depth on the issues such as Before the Flood. Both texts offer insightful warnings about the dangers of not listening to the message the planet has been telling us about for years. First of all, significant effects due to climate change include the melting of glaciers in Antarctica and Greenland. If climate stays at this temperature it's been in the last decade, Greenland is going away. Statement from Professor Jason E. Box, describing how conservative the solutions are to climate change and how we need more drastic measures to be taken. The production of carbon dioxide and other greenhouse gases are making the atmosphere too warm for the ice glaciers, making them melt and in turn revealing more methane into the atmosphere. During Before the Flood, we are shown the worsening state of Kangerlussuaq, Greenland. We are shown a bird's eye perspective of someone flying over the icy shore, frozen cliff faces falling into the ocean beneath, giving us a look at the sheer amount of ice that is melting. Realistic solutions to stop the glaciers melting is to remove 45% of carbon dioxide emissions over the next 10 years, and there to be no carbon emissions by 2050. Ideas have also been suggested by an engineer by scattering millions of tiny glass beads that will reflect the sunlight, slowing down the process of ice melting. Ideas such as these have the ability to sustain the ice. It is time for the new generations to heed these warnings before the past has ignored the message. Furthermore, the cutting down of our world's rainforest is not only producing more carbon emissions, but getting rid of a good storage space for CO2. Rainforests are one of the most important biomes on our planet, as they help us stabilize our climate. Rainforests breathe in our atmosphere's carbon dioxide and stores it in trees, leaves, and other organic matter. They have stored centuries worth of carbon and kept it safe from our atmosphere. However, when we clear and burn our rainforests, substantial amounts of carbon are released back into the atmosphere. We are shown the effect of this in Before the Flood, where we see views from helicopters flying over a smoke-covered forest in Sumatra, Indonesia, and the palm oils that have taken over that region. We are told by Faweza Farhan the expansion of the palm oil industry in Indonesia has taken over about 80% of our forests. This makes the audience realize how bad this issue is, not only by showing us burnt down forests and palm oil plantations, but also explaining that 80% of what was jungle is what we saw. Solutions include consumers not purchasing as many products with palm oil. Governments also need to stop the burning of rainforests, and people need to force this upon them. The public needs to do their part to stop the expansion of palm oil plantations and the burning of rainforests across the world. Not tomorrow or in a decade, now. Finally, due to climate change, we are getting consistent extreme weather conditions. We are getting hotter summers, dangerous thunderstorms, extremely long droughts, and more intense hurricanes. Scientists across the world have studied how much more intense weather has gotten compared to dates from over a century ago. Studies have been carried out everywhere in the world, such as Australia, America, and France, to name a few. In the abandoned world on the animated film WALL-E, we are shown more extreme weather that could occur if we keep on our current trend of CO2 emissions. WALL-E experiences devastating sandstorms in the first few minutes of the movie. We see how WALL-E has to bunker in his home to stay safe. The second time we are shown how dangerous it is up close, and come to realize a human would have very little chance at surviving this weather. The film foreshadows the devastating future of our planet if we do not make the change. We need to stop the CO2 emissions as soon as possible, or our weather may not ever recover to what it is now. In conclusion, the public are the ones who need to make a change. We all need to do our part to save our planet. Whether everyone believes it or not, evidence clearly tells us that we need to make change and fast. Otherwise, we'll be too late and have to live on a planet that resembles WALL-E, arid and deserted. No life to be found anywhere. That isn't the life I want for my kids. Do you?